Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Messi Negara. Today, I will explain about structure, dependence, and subject auxiliary inversion. So, without further ado, let's begin. This is the outline. The first is introduction to syntax. Second, structure dependence, basic concept. Third, structure dependence in action. For example of structure dependence, 5. Subject auxiliary inversion, the definition. 6. Common uses of inversions. And 7. When inversion does not apply. Introduction. Syntax is the study of sentence structure. It analyzes rules beyond word order. And third is focus, structure dependence, and SA inversion. So, syntax is the study of sentence structure. Syntax helps us understand how words are organized to form new phrases and sentences. It reveals the underlying grammar that allows language to be meaningful and rule govern. Second is it analyzes rules beyond word order. Syntax is not just about what comes first or last. It studies how parts of a sentence relate hierarchically. So rules apply based on structure, not just sequence. The third is focus, structure dependence, and SA inversion. In this presentation, I'll explain two central concepts, structure dependence and structure auxiliary inversions. These show how sentence form and meaning are shaped by syntax. Structure dependence basic concept. There is three concepts. Rules follow syntactic hierarchy. Second is not based on word position. And the third is prevents ungrammatical sentence. So the first is rules follow syntactic hierarchy. Structure dependence means grammatically rules really on the hierarchy of phrases in a sentence. It considers how elements are nested inside on another. Second, not based on word position. The rule doesn't imply act on the first auxiliary of word or word in a sentence. Syntax ignore linear position and instead looks at what function each word has within the structure. And the third is prevents ungrammatical sentence. Without structure dependence, we might make mistakes like moving the wrong auxiliary in a question. This rule helps us avoid that and generate correct forms. Structure dependence in action. So there is three. Use auxiliary from the main clause, ignore embedded or relative clause, and needed for proper transformation. So the first is use auxiliary from the main clause. When transforming a sentence into a question, we don't just pick any auxiliary, we select the one from the main clause. That's the part of the sentence that carries the main meaning. Ignore embedded or relative clause. Even if there are other is or does in the sentence, if they belong relative or embedded clauses, they not touched. Structure tell us which clause is dominant. The third is needed for proper transformation. This concept is critical in syntax because it guides how we form yes or no questions, passive and other construction accurately. So the example of structure dependence. There is three. Sentence, the man who tall is running. Wrong is the man who tall is running. The correct is the man who is tall running. Sentence. The man who is tall running. This sentence contains two instead of is. One belongs to the relative clause who is tall and the other is the main verb in the main clause. Second, wrong is the man who tall is running. This is what happens when we mistakenly move to the first is based on linear order, not structure. It creates an ungrammatical sentence. The third is correct is the man who is tall running. The correct transformation moves to the auxiliary from the main clause. This is the result of applying structure dependence correctly. Subject auxiliary inversion. Definition. There is three definition of subject auxiliary inversion. Auxiliary precedes subject found in yes or no question and also in formal construction. Auxiliary precedes subject. Subject auxiliary inversion is when the helping verb comes before the subject. This flips changes a sentence into a question or adds emphasis. Second, found in yes or no questions. In simple question like is he here? Inversion is required. Without it, the sentence is ungrammatical. And the third is also in informal formal construction. Sorry, these rules also appears in formal English, especially after certain expressions like never or rarely, or in conditionals without if. Common uses of inversion. There is three. Question: She is late. Is he late? Formal: Never have I seen this. And conditional: Had I known. Question: She is late. Is he late? This is the most basic use of inversion. We simply flip the subject and auxiliary to form a question. Second, formal: Never have I seen this. Inversion is also used after negative adverb to emphasize rarity or surprise. It sounds formal but follows the same syntax rules. And the third is conditional, had I known. In formal conditionals, the actual auxiliary comes first even without the word if. This is another case of inversion. So now we talk about when inversion does not apply. Embedded questions, no inversion. Example, I wonder what she's doing, not I wonder what is he doing. Embedded questions, no inversion. In indirect or embedded questions, we do not use inversion. The structure stays like a statement. Example, I wonder what she is doing. This is correct. What she is doing stays in normal subject verb order. The third is not I wonder what is she doing. This is the incorrect because the inversion rule doesn't apply in embedded clauses. Knowing when to invert and when not to is essential in syntax. Okay, this is part 2 and I will explain about syntax tree. The first is the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. There is sentence and there is two lines NP and VP. NP is non-praise and VP is for praise. We talk about NP first. NP, non-praise. There is two lines more in non-praise and there is that in the lines is the and there is non-praise which is have two lines, adjective phrase and noun. In the adjective phrase, there is quick and brown, and in the noun, there is fox, PP, which is verb phrase. There is two lines, verb and prepositional phrase. In the verb, we have jump. In the prepositional phrase, we have two lines more, prepositional and noun phrase. In the prepositional phrase, there is prep, over, and the noun phrase, there is more line. That is the, and the NP have adjective phrase and noun, lazy and dog. Second, the girl who is wearing a red dress is dancing. There is two lines in the sentence, noun phrase and verb phrase. So we got two lines more in the noun phrase. There is noun phrase and relative clause. In the noun phrase, there is two lines. That is the, and the noun is girl. So in the another line, there is relative clause. Sentence, uh, more lines. Noun praise and verb praise. The first noun praise, relative pronoun, and the word is who. The verb praise, there is two lines. Verb praise and noun praise. Verb praise, there is two line more. Auxiliary and verb. The auxiliary is the verb is wearing. The noun praise, that, a, and the noun praise, more in the second line is adjective, red, and the noun is dress. In the verb phrase, we have two lines. Auxiliary is, and the verb is dancing. The third is Stefano saw the Yeskila with the telescope. There's more second, there's more two lines. The first is NP, noun praise, which is have noun, and the word is Stefano. The verb praise, there is two lines, verb saw, and the noun praise get the more lines like noun praise and and prepositional praise. So there is more lines in each other praise. In the noun praise, we have determine and noun. There is apa? There is the Yeskila. There is the, and the noun is Yeskila. And the NP, in the second line is prepositional praise. There is prepositional and noun praise. In the prepositional, with, and the noun praise, there is two lines more. That is the, and noun is the telescope. 4. She believed that the earth is round. Sentence, there is two lines, NP and VP. Noun praise and verb praise. In the noun praise, there is noun and the word is she. In the verb praise, we have more lines in there. The first is verb, believed, because there is s. In the verb phrase, there is relative clause. In the relative clause, which is have more three, and the lines is many, and the sentence is noun praise and verb praise. Noun praise is that, and noun praise and verb praise, there is more line more, like noun praise and verb praise. Noun praise is that, the word is the, and the noun is earth, which is that the verb phrase is auxiliary and adjective. The auxiliary is is, and the adjective is round. The house where I grew up has been demolished. Sentence, noun praise and verb praise. there is two lines in each phrase, like non praise, non praise. There is two lines more. That is the and noun house. In another line, like the second line, is relative clause. There is more sentence, non praise and verb praise. Non praise is relative pronoun. The word is where, and the noun is I. The verb phrase, verb grew up. Meanwhile, in the another lines, there is verb phrase, which is have two lines. Auxiliary, the word is has, and the verb phrase, there is two lines. Auxiliary, the word is been, and the verb is demolish. Reference. There is five reference from Carney A, from Kn, Bradford A, O'Grady, and Fromkin. So thank you for watching. Sorry for the typo and the space. Okay, bye.